Washington, D.C. has three major bodies of water, which are the Potomac River, the Anacostia River, and Rock Creek. The AREC is located along the Anacostia River, which is part of the Anacostia watershed, which is also part of a bigger watershed called the Chesapeake Bay watershed. Watersheds are areas of land that drain rainwater or melted snow into a nearby body of water such as a river, lake, or stream. These water bodies are important as they can supply drinking water, water used for agriculture, and also provides important habitat for many species of plants and animals. So we want to make sure that we protect our watersheds. The easiest way we can all play a part in protecting our watersheds is to properly dispose of any garbage. That way, the water that drains into a water body does not carry that garbage into the rivers and pollute our waters. For example, Rock Creek and the Anacostia River flow into the Potomac. The Potomac River flows into the Chesapeake Bay. The Chesapeake Bay flows into the Atlantic Ocean. So litter in Anacostia can be swept into the river and theoretically end up in the ocean anywhere in the world. So it's important to remember that the small choices we make every single day matter. Hi everyone, welcome to the Aquatic Resources Education Center. My name is Marco and I'm a fish and wildlife biologist for the Department of Energy and Environment. And today I'm going to give everybody a tour of the center, so come on in. So here at the AREC, we have about 40 different species of animals that can be found in and around the three major bodies of water here in the district. Our animals are classified as native, non-native, or invasive. So here we have one of our native species, the Longnosed gar. They are considered a primitive fish species because they have been swimming around since the time of the dinosaurs for over 100 million years. They have some fascinating adaptations that they have evolved that have allowed them to survive for so long. Longnosed gar have two layers of scales that interlock, essentially creating a coat of armor. Here in the district, they are at the top of the food chain. Aside from being fished out of the water by humans, they have no natural predators in this area once they reach adult size. In their extended range towards the south, American alligators will sometimes eat them. Another one of their amazing adaptations is that they have what's called a highly vascularized swim bladder that allows them to breathe air from the surface, along with acquiring oxygen in the water via their gills. This adaptation allows them to live in low oxygenated water, and they can actually survive out of the water for up to 4 to 5 hours. They have an average lifespan of about 15 to 20 years, and they can reach lengths of up to 6 feet, with 3 to 4 feet being their average length. They feed mostly on other fish and occasionally on small crustaceans and insects.
Gray tree frogs are native to the district. They can typically be found living in trees or shrubs in forested areas near a body of water. Like most species of frogs, they are nocturnal and mostly active at night. They use camouflage to blend into their surroundings and can also produce a toxin secreted from their skin to help protect them against predators. They feed mostly on insects, but will occasionally eat snails or even smaller frogs. Since frogs have no teeth, when they capture their prey, they must swallow it whole. So frogs will actually blink and use their eyes to help push the food down into their throats. Gray tree frogs are a DC conservation priority and considered to be an indicator species like most other amphibians such as toads and salamanders. Indicator species help scientists better understand the overall health of an ecosystem. Frogs can be very sensitive to environmental changes. Since they absorb water directly through their skin, this makes them vulnerable to pollutants in the water and are one of the first to be affected by environmental degradation. So, a healthy population of frogs usually means that the ecosystem is healthy, well-balanced, and doing well overall. The American eel is a native fish species here in the district. They can be found in freshwater streams or rivers, and can also survive for brief periods out of the water. Their diet consists mostly of small fish and invertebrates, such as worms, crustaceans, and mollusks. They can reach lengths of 2 to 5 feet long. They're also the only freshwater species of eel here in North America. American eel are also the only catadromous fish, not only in DC, but in North America as well. Catadromous means that they live in freshwater and then migrate to saltwater in order to spawn. Adults will spawn in the Sargasso Sea, which is an area in the Atlantic Ocean east of the Bahamas. So, when an American eel hatches from its egg, it's born in saltwater in the ocean and must then make its way into freshwater rivers or streams where they will live out their lives as adults. They have a remarkable life cycle and go through many physical changes called metamorphosis, which allows them to successfully migrate into fresh water. They will then return to the ocean to spawn anywhere between 3 to 40 years later. The common snapping turtle is a native species here in the district. It's the largest species of turtle found in the area. They are commonly found in shallow riverbeds, ponds, or streams. They are omnivorous, feeding on both plant and animal matter, but will also scavenge for food. They will prey on almost anything they can swallow, including fish, invertebrates, frogs, reptiles such as lizards, snakes, and other turtles, as well as birds and small mammals. As adults, they have very few, if any, predators, so they are at the top of the food chain. They have an extremely powerful bite and a sharp beak that allows them to be a formidable predator. They will lie beneath the muddy bottom with only their heads exposed, stretching their long necks to the surface for an occasional breath of air. Their nostrils are perfectly positioned at the tip of their snout and acts like a snorkel. Snapping turtles are ambush predators. They will dig their sharp claws into the riverbed and wait patiently for prey to wander by before lunging forward with their long necks and powerful bite to capture their next meal.
Here we have one of our non-native species called the largemouth bass. So non-native means that they are not native to the area. They were introduced at some point in time, whether it was on purpose or by accident, but being designated as non-native typically means that they don't pose any sort of threat or harm to the ecosystem. They're called largemouth bass for obvious reasons because they have quite a large mouth. With that large mouth, they can capture a good sized prey. They will eat anything from other fish, small mammals, small birds, reptiles, even bats. So here we have an example of an invasive species. An invasive species is also non-native, but they can pose significant threat and harm to the ecosystem. Invasive species can essentially disrupt the balance of nature. They can outcompete native animals for their resources, such as food and shelter. They can eat a lot of the native animals. They can eat a lot of the native animals as food, which leaves less food for the native species. They can sometimes introduce diseases that can ravage an ecosystem, and they can also steal shelter, which then allows the native species to have less places to hide, which makes them more vulnerable to predation from other animals. This is a northern snakehead. Again, they are invasive in this area in the district. They are native to Asia. They can be found in the waters of China, Russia, and Southeast Asia, and other places like South and North Korea. They were likely introduced to the district through the live food market. They are a popular food item. Apparently they are very tasty. They do have some fascinating adaptations. Aside from being invasive, they are a very impressive fish. For one, they can survive temperatures from 32 degrees Fahrenheit, so freezing, all the way to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. You can even find them swimming underneath the ice. Another fascinating adaptation is that both the male and the female will guard the eggs. They show a lot of parental investment in their young. It's not a very typical thing that you will find amongst fish species, but they will guard their young for up to 3 weeks after they hatch. They can lay about 75,000 to 100,000 eggs, about 20,000 at a time, so they do that about 4 to 5 times throughout the breeding season. They are a voracious predator. They will eat what they can get their mouths on. They have incredibly sharp teeth. They can grow to be lengths of almost 3 feet long, and they have an average lifespan of about 10 to 15 years or so. Be advised that if you fish for snakeheads and you catch one, according to DC regulations and fishing guidelines, it's recommended that you harvest the fish and do not return it back to the water.
Hi, I'm Teresa, and I'm the Wildlife Management Branch Chief.
Hi, my name is Callie, and I'm a fish and wildlife biologist here at the AREC.
We're here today to show you some of our favorite crafts that you can do at home or school or camp. This is an example of one of our favorite crafts, the paper plate dish. Callie's going to show you the steps to make this simple and fun activity.
This activity is very simple. You will need a paper plate, some scissors, some extra pieces of paper, and some markers. So the first step is to take your paper plate and to cut out some pieces of paper that will resemble the fins. And so you can make your fins however big or small you want. Really any shape, it's your own creation, however you want to make it. These are some that I already cut out. And get some glue, and you can glue the fins onto the back of the paper plate. After you do that, you can take a marker to draw the eye, and you can also draw a mouth, or you can cut the mouth out with scissors, however you prefer. And from there, you can let your creativity flow and to design and to color any sort of shapes that you wish.
Here are some examples of staff fish that we created in honor of 4th of July.
Since we already learned about turtles earlier in the video, this is another craft highlighting just how cool they are.
This is our turtle project. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is download the picture of the turtle, color your turtle any color you want, cut your turtle out after it's finished, and then on the dotted line make a cut with scissors, and then tape the turtle together and let it stand up and smile. Ta-da!
Thanks for visiting us at the AREC. If you would like to learn more, visit our website at doe.dc.gov/AREC. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for touring the AREC.